we have been waking up at around 3 a.m. to be at Lee Funeral Home by 5 a.m. to ensure that we are set and ready for coverage. And of course, a lot of history unfolding and a lot of details also emerging in terms of how a head of state, a former head of state, is laid to rest. The whole procession, the whole process, and of the actually right now, if I could just interject and explain to our viewers what we are seeing right now, we are at Allsops. This is along Thika Road, where President Kibaki actually constructed during his tenure. And of course, when we saw his body lying in state, there were some very minor details, some hidden details that if you are not very keen, some of them might have passed you. And when the president's body was lying in state on that platform in Parliament, it was not just put on anything, just by accident. There was that white cloth, which was actually his presidential standard that he had to be laid on. And of course, even the gun carriage that was carrying his body had to have that small flag that was his presidential standard. And yesterday we saw the same on the right side of the vehicle, where both flags were flying high. And even in the stadium, in Nyayo National Stadium, we saw all the flags flying at half-mast, which are supposed to continue until evening today, when they'll be back to full-mast. But the presidential standard was at full-mast. And of course, that is just something that we saw, and I was told that it is this presidential standard is a sign that the occupant or the owner of that standard is in place. And of course, those are some of the details. And if you could remember, or our viewers could remember, when the body was lying in state at Parliament, we also saw the officers, the military officers who were on guard or guarding the body of Emilio Mwai Kibaki, also bend slightly, their heads bowing slightly lower, which is a sign of mourning, but they're also on guard on a rotational basis. And of course, the pallbearers who are carrying his body from Lee Funeral Home to State House, and of course from State House to Nyayo National Stadium, and back a few days ago in Parliament, they were also not just ordinary military officers. Those are full colonels and people who have high ranks in the military, and of course also having a chance to bid farewell to Kibaki. And of course, this is one of the honors that is given to a former head of state who also gets a chance to also experience this whole process. Even in death, they are celebrated. But something which is also critical is that we saw Lee Funeral Home, which normally trends when prominent people pass on, also giving that or according that best service to Kibaki, which the funeral home has been there and has been serving former heads or former leaders who were also prominent. We saw Kalemendile last year. We saw the body of other leaders also being preserved there, and of course given a chance to also experience that last journey, the last send-off that they also get. And of course, this year also started on a very low note. Brenda, if you could remember, we lost Charles Mugani Njonjo, one of the earliest or the first attorney generals the country has had. And of course, this is just keeping on continuing. And you've seen, we also saw several other leaders also succumb to the wave, the COVID wave last year. And the list is actually now at this point. And we hope that everything will be good moving forward. Of course, also giving, of course, because everybody, despite Kibaki dying at the age of 90, he had a lot. And of course, when such people who had an indelible mark leave, they leave a vacuum that might take a lot of time to fill, if ever there will be such a chance. And of course, right now, the convoy is moving very at a higher pace, actually, from what we had expected, and we are now some kilometers to almost Gedorai, and of course, this is just the convoy that it will slow down towards the Thika town, where these people will also have a chance, Brenda.
So to just hold on, kindly just hold on, don't hang up on us, because you still need to have an interaction with you and also include Caleb into this conversation. But then let me bring in my colleague, Noakip Kemboi, who was actually still at Kahawa Wendani, still along Thika Road, one of the, infrastructure for the late President Mwai Kibaki. Noakip Kemboi, I mean, that entourage is actually near where you are at Kahawa Wendani. You'll be giving us those live pictures. Kindly talk to us about the mood right there, what residents are saying.
Well, Brenda, as the weather shows, it is a very somber morning, to be exact, because, I mean, it's 7:20. By all measures, that is relatively early. But still the sun is not yet out to the full capacity that we're used to seeing it. As you can see through those pictures, is that a lot of Kenyans are waiting. I can see a lot of questions. Actually, by the time we're standing here, people are asking, okay, Mzana Peter Sangapi. You can see the population of Githurai. That is a hub for trade, but at the same time, it is a place where people will be taking time to just pay their last respect to the president, the former president, Emilio Mwai Kibaki. But of importance to note is the nature of this last journey, Brenda. This is President Kibaki riding on his legacy, and it is testament for our leaders and also a point of reflection. What you do when you're given an opportunity to lead, then one day people will assess that. And this morning we are assessing the development track record of the late President Mwai Emilio Stanley Kibaki. As you can see, the chase cars are fast approaching, and it is all that we expect, a befitting send-off to the former president of the Republic of Kenya, Emilio Stanley Mwai Kibaki. His last journey on this legacy project we call Thika Superhighway, 50 kilometers of legacy. See Kenyans approaching the superhighway just to observe this last journey of the late president, escorted and flanked by the military, the police. As you can see, that is the last journey. You can see the chase bikes, and it is a moment to reckon that indeed he did something, unlike in many cases we have seen where when leaders get sick, they are evacuated to other countries. When they die, they are carried by a chopper. Well, not for the former president Mwai Kibaki, because he built infrastructure, and now that infrastructure is the one that is taking him home all the way to Othaya, the final journey of the president, late President Mwai Kibaki. The convoy is now at Kahawa